Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Zine. I'm Boni.
I'm Jessica Kislak.
And I'm Josephine.
So, if you haven't been following the college tuition scandal, allow us to catch you up. A few weeks ago, we first got a glimpse of trouble when over 30 mostly high-profile celebrity parents were charged in a college admissions scandal. Things like athletic achievements, SAT scores, and other elements that help students get into college were reported to be tampered with. Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman were along the well-known scammers. Fast forward to today, according to CNN, Felicity Huffman is among the 12 others that pled guilty this afternoon to several charges. Let's talk about this. Can we talk about how much money these parents paid to get their young children into colleges like UFC, and
it's ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Extra effort. Just faking photos of them on the rowing team. And
what else? There were people that were sitting in during SAT scores and or taking SATs, and proctors letting people get away with that. I don't understand how something like that happens.
I just feel like I would make a great rich person, because rich people, are you, if your kid needs to go to state school, let him go to state school. I just don't understand.
You can pay for it.
You can afford it.
And
exactly.
The crazy thing is, too, Olivia Jade, who's among one of the children that is actually involved in this scandal, said that she didn't even want to go to college, that her parents made her, and that could be just a ploy to cover her own, but because she had a YouTube channel herself, and she admitted that. But we don't know what's going on. But all I know is my parents don't love me enough to, go to jail to get me into college.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's all about high profile, right?
Oh, ridiculous. And the parents want the kids to be going to good schools with a name, It's not worth it in the end.
Matter.
Yeah. Well, Netflix announced today that they are releasing a documentary based on Beyoncé's iconic 2018 Coachella performance entitled Homecoming that paid homage to historical black colleges and universities in America. It is set to premiere on April 17th, and the documentary will give us an intimate look into what it took to put the show together through interviews and candid moments between everyone behind the powerful performance.
I didn't even know this was happening.
Right?
I'm not.
It came out of the blue.
Yeah, it was so out of nowhere.
But I feel like there's no big documentary on Beyoncé, is there? Or at least I'm not aware.
So I don't think there isn't produced by someone else, but her, I don't know if it's her most recent album at this point, but Lemonade was this whole big project.
That's true.
But that was also produced mainly by her.
Yes.
And
that had a big political kind of social.
Yeah, I also think it's
stance.
important to note she was the first ever woman of color to headline Coachella.
Yeah.
Which is a big accomplishment just on its own. And now through her performance, she got to symbolize and really show people how important it is to represent your community, even through your performance. And she did that.
Absolutely.
She didn't have to do that. She could have just brought out Destiny's Child, and that could have been it. But yeah, it was great.
Absolutely.
I can't wait to see it.
Absolutely.
It was. Well, unfortunately, $2.5 million worth of merchandise has been stolen from makeup artist and YouTuber Jeffree Star's warehouse. This includes unreleased products, and it happened on March 16th, but the news was not released until recently. He believes that it was an inside job and posted a YouTube video saying it was heartbreaking and a nightmare, which that is a lot to steal. And why? Just...
Well, because I doing some more further research onto this.
Okay.
The fact that that they made a claim that it was an inside job.
Yes.
I know whoever did end up taking the merchandise was releasing pictures of it online and planning to make a profit off of it before it was released. So he's working on a new concealer line that has been, I guess, in the works for a year, because they're very, very big on making their own formulas and stuff like that, really putting a lot of care into their product.
The FBI was even coming, helping.
The FBI was called?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the FBI, absolutely, because it's that's over
That's
$2 million of merchandise from his personal
Yeah, I just
warehouse.
don't understand why they didn't wait to release these photos. Why did the person decide I'm gonna release it before anything comes?
Because then you have a trail. They can find you.
That's what I'm saying.
It's crazy. It's crazy. The makeup industry is
Yeah.
It's a Mongol of its own. But The Twilight Zone is back on CBS All Access, and who other than Jordan Peele would be behind the reboot? The first 2 episodes premiered on the streaming service last Monday in the U.S., and according to SciFiWire.com, the first 2 episodes were a huge hit, at least in terms of the viewers. So I don't know how much, how y'all feel about this topic, but The Twilight Zone is horrifying, in my opinion. Like the, original,
Horrifying, but interesting.
But oh my God, it was one of my favorite things to watch when I was growing up. Like my father has the whole box set, and
that's so
we,
sweet.
we know all the episodes. So I was really excited about it, and I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, but I do have links to watch both of the episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. But Jordan Peele, coming from the background that he did, in his 15 years of comedy, he really has, with Get Out and Us, blown up into really making a staple in the horror genre.
He's a more common name now, I believe.
Yeah, I would say household name. And a lot of people say that horror and that type of more horror doesn't get a lot of recognition for award shows. So hopefully we see a change in that.
That is true.
Well, we have more to talk about after the break and a cute little DIY experiment as well. Stick around and we'll be right back.
Pretty good today, pretty good.
Yeah, I thought he called a pretty fair game.
Come on, man, that was a weak call.
Yeah, man, that ref is totally soft.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Welcome back to the Zine. Last Friday, the Jonas Brothers released their new song, Cool, which featured them in what seems to be a mid-'80s Miami performance, performing to older women in the crowd. Cool is the second single from the Jonas Brothers have released since the band's reunion last month.
Yes.
Despite the song having a more relaxed and mature tone compared to the song Sucker, the song has hit #1 on iTunes the day it came out, so it's a pretty big deal.
Personally, I liked Cool more than Sucker.
Really?
I think Sucker sounds like a Shawn Mendes song. I'm not a fan of that,
them
but
both. I don't know.
I like
It's
them
hard to decide, but also recently they went to Penn State and they were bartending, which was pretty cool too.
Oh,
So they
really?
made like a big comeback, and there were videos that were surfacing of them singing SOS, and it makes me
It's
want to cry.
iconic.
Yeah.
No, it's a really good song.
it is.
I first heard it and I was like, but then I was like, yeah, wait, I'm kind of into this.
It's so
Yeah.
funny too because they still are those musicians and brothers and almost
Yeah.
that band at heart. And then I don't know if you saw, they shared a picture of all their wives, Joe's fiance
Yeah.
and
Oh,
then Nick
yeah.
and Kevin's wives together, and it's very sweet,
Very
wholesome,
emotional.
very happy. Well, Khalid released his second studio album on Friday, and at just 21 years old, he has had quite the rise to fame in the past 2 years. Besides his two popular albums, Khalid has had standalone hits along with big-name collabs. According to Billboard.com, already under his belt is an SNL performance and 5 Grammy nominations. But some say the album falls short of differing from his first album. I don't know if you guys are big fans of his, and I didn't really have that thought until I read that quote from Billboard, but a lot of his songs on the second album do sound like a continuation of his first album that came out last year. But he has a good sound, and
Yeah,
he has
he
a big
does.
following, so...
I've heard some of his songs, and they all kind of have like the same tone to them.
Exactly.
But what is amazing to me is that he's 21 years old.
That is true.
I'm 22, and I just nap all of the time.
Well, you think about it, he
So,
released an
good for
album
him.
when he was 19,
That's
and then another one
insane.
2 years later. I mean, things have changed in his life,
Yeah.
but also,
Exactly.
a lot changes from when you're 19 to 21 years old, but, I feel like he still needs a few more years to really change his sound
Yeah,
a
he's
lot.
young. He
himself,
still
yeah.
has time to
He
grow.
has, a huge career ahead of him.
And
it
he's
seems
already a big name, so he can only hopefully go up from here.
5
Absolutely.
Grammy nominations
Yeah.
is a big deal.
Absolutely.
That is true. Well, on April 4th, half of Love and Fear by Marina, who recently, in the past, her name was Marina and the Diamonds, but now she just goes by Marina. So that part of the album came out, just the love part. This includes singles like Baby with Luis Fonsi, Handmade Heaven, and Orange Trees. She also mentioned on Twitter how she struggled with fear getting in the way of love, which is kind of the inspiration for this album. The To Be Human music video off the love part of the album came out today, and it's actually a video that advocates for human rights. The footage is from different places all over the world, and very touching that she included that in her album. So the second half, Fear, comes out on April 26th.
Oh, okay, so we don't have to wait that long for it at all.
No.
The first time I heard any song by Marina and the Diamonds was on, I think it was Just Dance,
Oh,
2
no.
or something. Yeah, it was so long ago, and I remember her having a very unique sound for the time. And now I can think of artists that are also on the radio and are pretty mainstream that sound like her, but they sound like her, not she sounds like them.
Yeah, I remember when I first saw her, she had the little heart tattooed on her face or
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
marked on it. And it's crazy how a lot of artists do sound just like her, but she hasn't got the recognition I feel like that she
It's true.
deserves.
Yeah.
She's
she
a great artist.
She does fly under the radar a little
Yeah.
bit, but I know there's a lot of people that do follow them.
Exactly.
But stay tuned for our spring-inspired DIY craft coming up next.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
It's me, you, anyone that wants to be.
There is no typical firefighter.
That was pretty good today. Pretty good.
Yeah, I thought he called a pretty fair game.
Come on, man, that was a weak call.
Yeah, man, that ref is totally soft.
You might not know everyone in your community, but if you did, you'd see that people in recovery from mental and substance use disorders are all around. Reach out for support and begin your recovery journey. Join the Voices for Recovery. Strengthen families and communities.
For confidential information on mental and substance use disorders, including prevention and treatment referrals for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
welcome back to the Zine. Unfortunately, our DIY guru, Melissa, could not join us today, but Boni is here to show us how to spruce up any room with sunlight with this fun craft.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, so spring inspired. The sun was shining today and it was above 55 degrees, which is a very big deal.
Big deal here.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with you need literally 3 things, super easy. You're gonna get any type of potted plant. So we're working with flowers, just to stick with the spring theme, but you can also use any type of spice. You can use a succulent. Just make sure you look up exactly what those things need when it comes to sunlight, as well as water. And what type of nutrients they may need that is in specific types of soil. So what we're gonna start to do now is our flowers are in our plant, so we can take off the lid of our mason jar. You can find mason jars at craft stores, Walmart, Target. Pretty easy to find them. They're very accessible, not too expensive. They usually come in packs of 6 or so. And because we're going to take the plants out of the pot that they come out of and we may lose a little soil, it's wise to get some extra soil to put in your jar. So just a few spoonfuls to fill the bottom. Some people also like to put decorative rocks in there or anything on the inside to push up the plants a little bit. So you can do that. That is up to your discretion, but I'm gonna pass this along. It can get a little messy. That's why we have our paper towels here.
So I'm just putting a little bit of dirt?
Yep, putting a little bit of dirt. Here, I can probably, we're gonna share the well. Jess, can I see your mason jar?
Yes, I'll bring it closer.
And mason jars are like super trendy all of the time.
They are.
For everything.
You can like tie ribbons around them. You can paint them with like acrylic paint. I was thinking about getting paint, but like I'm not gonna paint something on
Not
here.
on budget.
No, not on budget, but also just my skill set is not exactly there. I'm no Melissa. So after we do that, we're gonna start to remove our plants from the already plastic plant. It's okay if you break some of the roots as you take it out. As you can see, the circumference of this is a little bit larger than the jar, but as long as...
I'm just breaking.
I just feel like this isn't gonna fit.
As long as you are molding and shaping the dirt with the roots into the mason jar.
I feel like this looks great though. I don't know about you guys.
You're definitely making the least amount of mess out of all of us.
We're getting there.
But as you can see,
we're getting there.
Fits down very nicely in there.
Yeah, just like really naturally, it just fits.
Yeah, just naturally, like all of your body weight just pushing onto this plant.
Me trying to fit into like really tight pants.
It's an art. Absolutely. All right. So as you can see, we have a lot of the jar filled up with soil.
I'm really getting there.
Josephine is doing her best over here. I would say out of everyone, Jess looks the best. My soil is still a little bit coned in this jar.
Did you do
I
that?
thought green thumb.
Here, so okay,
I just feel like this really symbolizes me. So I feel like
so I feel like you're just not aggressive enough.
I don't want to hurt it.
Well,
Yeah, maybe
I'll
we should
hurt
put
it.
some more dirt in the bottom.
Okay.
But we're filling it up.
Absolutely.
Oh, she looks so cute.
So she's cute, right? So I lost a few
Definitely.
leaves. Maybe I'm a little too aggressive. Again, Josephine was
whatever
not
you gotta
enough.
do.
I was a little too much. But now that you have your plant in here, we have some water here. The easiest way to get the water in there would probably to put it in something with like a stout that you can slide down in here.
Like those globes. What were they called? They were always on TV, like
Oh my God, yeah,
infomercials.
like as seen on TV,
like
like
really
watering
big,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So they have like a mini one, like try to purchase that, right? And then you can get creative with your favorite colors, maybe, your favorite way to decorate things, and decorate the outside. And a lot of people will grow like spices, and like seasonings if they don't have room for an outside garden. Basil plants right on your windowsill. That's completely possible. So this is like super, as you can see, super quick and easy. We did this in less than 5 minutes. Of course, you can make it a little prettier, but that's if you have time to do that. But yeah, I hope Melissa sees this and likes it.
She's gonna be proud. She's gonna be so proud.
Yeah, now we have a plant, right? So thanks for sticking around for our DIY. Up next, it's Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and we'll be talking about resources and statistics after the break.
Hey, President Stanley, what's your favorite television station? I don't know. Hey, guys, what do you think?
Guys, I don't feel so good. Shouldn't have had that chili for lunch.
The second I got on the campus, I knew Oswego was the place to go.
There's a place for everybody at Oswego.
This school just opens the world to you. Have the opportunity to explore and to learn so many different things, not only about yourself, but the people around you and the world.
It definitely is about the student. I felt it to be very about me.
Now that I'm here, I can't imagine myself anywhere else.
How do we afford all this?
Thanks for tuning back into the Zine tonight, everyone. We've got a bit of a heavier topic for you for our last discussion because it is National Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And we believe that you should have these conversations and let people know because it happens and people should be available to have access to these resources and know what they are. So I'm going to start with a few statistics. 1 in 5 women and 1 in 71 men will be raped at some point in their lives. Also, in 8 out of 10 cases of rape, the victim knew the perpetrator. And relating more to college campuses right here, like at SUNY Oswego, more than 90% of campus rapes could go unreported. This information is from the National Sexual Assault Resource Center, and they have a lot of information if you need to find some there. So I know, Josephine, you interned with the Title IX office before.
Yes.
How was that?
Title IX is a great place to learn more about what exactly is sexual assault and sexual violence, but also really, I mean, if you want to intern, it's also a great place to learn about resources and how to help people. Lisa Vanesky, who is the Title IX coordinator on our campus, is one of the best people I know. She is always willing to help, no matter what time of the day you call or email her. She will always pick up, so never be afraid to try to contact her, which I think is really important. Because I feel like a lot of times we're scared that if we reach out to someone, we're not really going to get an answer. But with Lisa, if you don't want to talk to her, she'll always find you someone to talk to, which I think is important.
And also, too, something very important to mention, just because you report something to a mandated reporter, say Lisa Vanesky, does not necessarily mean that you have to press charges, or you have to go any further than just merely talking to someone and getting the support in private that you may need. It's not an end-all, be-all. It's not going to turn into a thing that you're not prepared for. It'll only really go somewhere if you want it to go somewhere. It's still very important to talk about if you're comfortable with that.
And I know the school holds some courses or mandatory for clubs. They're just info sessions, but they change them up, so you're not going to the same thing all the time. I know sometimes they're just a video, sometimes
there's bystander intervention, there's behind the post, which is something new about social media. Healthy relationships don't necessarily have to be physical abuse, but emotional, psychological abuse is something that those workshops also cover as well. And just Title IX info sessions talk about how you can be an advocate for someone, how you can stand up against something that isn't right, make sure that people are safe, and you know, that they know that something may, you know, happen to them, but they have resources available if it does.
Definitely, because some people are afraid to speak up even if they see it happening, which hopefully these help people to make that conscious decision to say, yeah, this isn't right, I need to say something.
And all the programs are listed in Laker Life, so if you guys just go to Laker Life, on SUNY Oswego, all of Title IX's programs are on there. So I think it's really important just to check them out. You can go to a couple, there's no pressure, just to learn more about what you could do to really help out. Or, you know, maybe you just need to go because you just need to see that you're not alone. Because I know a lot of people don't realize they're in the situation until they see it presented in front of them.
Absolutely.
That is true. So we do have some resources for you right on screen. The Mary Walker Health Center has some resources where you can talk. There's also a crisis hotline that is up on screen right now, and Lisa Avanesky's email and phone number. And also just letting you know that the crisis hotline is open 24 hours. So.
Absolutely. It's a hard conversation to have, and I think over the past few years especially, there's been a lot more people that have been brave enough to come out and talk about their experiences. And you know, sexual assault is a very serious and has a lot of weight to the claim, but it doesn't just, this month isn't just about like someone that's really suffered physically, but someone that's ever felt uncomfortable, felt like they couldn't stand up to a superior, to a peer, and like that statistic mentioned, it's typically someone that the person that experiences that hardship, they know, they have a relationship, at least on an acquaintance level. So it's difficult, but it's important to talk about with your peers and, you know, employees and anyone that you may be spending time with.
And
so
also just knowing there's always someone there that will listen, no matter who, and as hard as it is, someone will listen to you.
Absolutely.
That's really important.
Later this month, I know the Title IX office is holding a lot of events. Last week there was It's on Oz Day to take the pledge, and there's a lot of different things that will be happening. Yards for Yeardley is happening this month, honoring some of the fallen victims of domestic violence. So just look out for those things on campus. And yeah, but thank you all for tuning in to our show tonight. Join us in 2 weeks for our final episode of this season.
Went by so fast.
Hey guys, when we're not doing the real deal, what do you like to do in your free time?
Well, I like to watch WTOP 10 movies on demand.
Yeah, me too. You know, there's such a wide variety of films that anybody on campus can watch.
And it's free.
And it's free.
How do I get to this movies on demand?
Well, all you have to do is go to WTOP10.com and click the Movies on Demand tab.
Hey, let's go watch one right now to review on our next show.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.